Alright, this is the simulations, and I am going to be completely dismantling a theory by a friend of mine. This friend is LilShot64. I'll put his channel in the end screen. But, so, he has this theory that darkners and Deltarune can create dark fountains. So I'm going to go out of my way to disprove everything he says. First thing he says is we don't actually know if the night is a lightener or a darkener. And it's pretty clear, at least to me, that he's a lightener. Think about it. He had to be in the light world for everything to work out the way he did. He would have to be in the closet. He would have to know that Noelle and Bergley were in the computer lab at that time and that Chris and Susie were on their way. Knowledge that Rouse, for example, didn't have. Well, they knew they were going to do homework, but they didn't know that they were going to the computer lab. They didn't know they were going to that specific area because darkners just don't know that. The only reason why Rouse is there is because he followed dark presence. The Knight would have no reason to know about any of that. And why I think he knows all of that is because he decided to make the fountain at that specific point in time and have everything line up that perfectly. I don't think that's a coincidence. And then secondly, he brings up the Aftermath comic, I believe it's what it's called. Either Aftermath or Snowgrave, I forget. But that's not canon. Nothing about that is canon. And it's quite simply stated, it's quite possible that the Darkners in that comic say Toby does decide to make that canon, which who knows? Probably not. But say that he does make this canon. The Darkners just don't know that they can't make a dark fountain. I mean, the dark fountains only existed for a couple hours at that point. So, yeah. Alright. Next is that Chris opens a dark fountain at the end of chapter 2. No, he fucking doesn't. What actually happens at the end of chapter 2 is, he plans on waking Susie back up. That way they can continue their marathon. Chris remembers that he has a collection of old VHS tapes and a dusty VHS player in the floor. So he uses his knife to pry open the floorboards. But when he stabs the knife into the ground, he accidentally stabs the wrong spot and hits a gas line. There you go. Jokes aside, though, I do actually believe that Chris opened up a dark fountain. Anyway. Next is that he says that we don't exactly know what darkners are, which I'm not sure how this is relevant to anything, but we do. They're objects. They're objects. That's it. Darkners are objects. And then he also pointed out that a darkner could kill a human and take their soul. Based off Spamson's dialogue, yeah, that is actually very likely. That could happen. The problem is that we all know that it didn't. How do we know? It is stated by Dr. Alphys at the end of chapter 2 that there isn't any crime in Hometown whatsoever. So clearly nobody is killing humans. Or if a human fell into the dark world. I think with there only being one other human, we would know, the members of Hometown would notice a human disappearing. Like, say that he's right for a minute, that there were two humans One being Chris, one being I don't know. But say this other human fell into the dark world and got killed there. They're gonna notice that. They're gonna notice that one of only 2 humans in hometown disappeared, which would completely eliminate the whole "there's no crime in hometown" statement by Alfie. And then the very last thing that he says that I'd like to refute, which once again has no relevance to this theory. I have no idea why he's even saying it, but that that everyone believes that Rouse is evil. We all know that's gonna betray us. No. You're wrong. Because I don't. And pretty much all of the Deltarune players that I know in real life don't. And I'd say about half the community doesn't either. Like, there's a pretty good amount of people who say, no, Rouse isn't gonna betray us. But, yeah. Yeah, no, darkners cannot create dark fountains. They really can't. And I'm gonna use Queen to help further my point. Because, LolShot64 and I had talked a little bit on Discord. And, like I said, if Queen did no... Oh, well, if darkners can create dark fountains, why didn't Queen just do it? Because she clearly had the determination to do so. Chris's response was exactly what was in the video, that he is stupid and that she didn't even know about the roaring. Why would she know how to make a fountain herself? But then I just explained that she straight up gave a step-by-step tutorial. And that, let's say she doesn't know if darkness can create dark fountains or not. If she didn't, who's to say that Queen didn't try that before and failed? So, yeah. Anyway, that's gonna do it for today's video. As for another episode of Deltarune, I might make that today, I might not, who knows. Anyway, this is Simulations, also known as Mike, signing. Oh wait, hold up. I have a brief little message for Chris. Let my mic go. Holy shit. When you're making videos on YouTube, let my mic go. Let your other mic go. Like, listen. Mike isn't a threat because he's probably fucking dead. As for Tenna, sure, I guess we'll just have to wait and see. But I'm willing to bet that Mike is dead. Or at least in absolutely no condition to be a threat whatsoever with the way Spamton talks about Mikes in the sweepstakes. So, yeah. With that, I'm gonna sign off for real now. This is the Simulations.